My name is Ardle. It is a real name. I am a real person. Don't worry, nobody ever gets my name right. Call me all sorts of things. Harry and Arnold and Aaron and Anal. That was one, genuinely. Yes, I heard that over a tannoy system at a theatre in Norwich. Could Anal come to the stage door, please? Lovely. Me being so passive, I just turn up and go, yeah, it's me, Anal. What do you want? Of course, a lot of people call me Dougal. You know why? Simply because of a character that I played in a sitcom many years ago. Just before I start, I'd like to get something off my chest, if you don't mind. Because of that character that I played in this show called Father Ted, a lot of people think I'm actually stupid. They think I'm the stupidest person in the world and they feel sorry for me. Only last week someone stopped my wife in the street and said, "Is he as stupid in real life?" I wouldn't mind, but I was standing right beside her at the time. I'm talking to her like she's my carer, not just my wife. And this is a true story, and I'm going to tell you this and then I'm going to move on. A couple of years ago, I was in a taxi. I arrived at Dublin Airport. I live in Dublin, and I jumped into a taxi, and I asked the taxi driver to take me home. I gave him the address. I didn't just assume he knew where I lived. And the taxi driver just wanted to talk about this show that I was in, Father Ted. And he was looking at me with pity. And he actually asked me at one point, he said, "Do you remember being in it?" This is my life. People wonder why I do this. Why I travel up and down the country week in, week out, try to convince strangers that I'm a normal, intelligent human being. Well, that's the reason. Anyway, I'm in the taxi. And I'm trying to change the subject to anything at all, sport or politics, and I'm trying to impress the taxi driver with my knowledge, and I'm using big words to impress him, like utensil and testosterone. And we were getting on fine. We were about 20 minutes into the journey. This is absolutely true. I suddenly remembered that I have a car. Some of you are ahead of me. And 3 days previously, I parked my car at the airport car park. And I just couldn't tell him. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I know how the world works. One little slip up, you'd never be allowed to forget it. "Oh, sorry, could you turn around? I'm such a big fool." No. I know he'd be telling everyone, "Oh, you'd never believe who I had in the car, that feckin' Egypt from Father Ted." So I let the driver take me all the way home. And as soon as he was out of sight, I called another taxi and I went back to the airport.
We use Facebook and Twitter for rubbish. You ever seen those sanctimonious little poems and quotes people put on Facebook to make you feel better about life? They drive me mad. I've got one here. Honestly, I've got two. I printed out. This first one is always put on by women, by the way. I'm not being sexist there, because I was sort of raised by women. I was. Can you tell? I never had that older brother figure who beat me up. I had two older sisters who dressed me up. No, I was raised by women. Sounds like I was raised by wolves, doesn't it? I was found running with a wild hen night in Newcastle. But this first quote, always put on by women. You will recognise it, some of you. "Friends are angels who lift us to our feet when our wings have trouble remembering how to fly." Do you know what, us men, we may be emotionally constipated, but I'm damn proud we don't put shit like that on Facebook. This second quote, this one's put on by everybody. This is a long one. Lots of you will recognise this one. I've had this one about 4 times. "Life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly. Kiss slowly. Love truly. Laugh uncontrollably. And never regret anything that made you smile. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the bow lines. Sail away from the safe harbour. Catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore. Dream. Discover. Do you know what? I've got a mortgage to pay, bills to deal with, kids to bring up. I don't have time for this crap on my Facebook page." Let's look at it in detail. Let's look at it. Life is short. No, it's not. Compared to most animals, we live a bloody long time. Do you know how hard it would be to train a dog if they ever realised how short their life was? They'd go, why? Why? Why should I fetch the stick? What's the point? I've only got 13 years. Why? And they'd be off to travel the world and have adventures, wouldn't they? Flies buzzing about going 20 days! 20 bloody days! Even shit tastes good to us! The mayfly lives for 1 day. 1 day. Do you think other animals are really nice to the mayfly? Who are you? I'm a mayfly. I think you're really brave. I think they're all raising money to send them to Disneyland by 6 p.m. Do you think that's what's going on? So life is short. No, it's not. It's bloody long. Second one, break the rules. I hate people who say break the rules. I hate you. Rules are really, really important. What do you mean break? What, drive the wrong way up the M1? What do you mean? Serial killers break the rules, don't they? Yeah, he's killed 10, but he's really sticking it to the man. It's rubbish. Kiss slowly. Kiss slowly, yeah. What about your gran? It's just rubbish. We love this stuff. We love this sanctimonious stuff. It's rubbish. It's like the nation's favourite poem is If by Rudyard Kipling. You know, it's the one that you do all these things and yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and what is more, you'll be a man, my son. And men go, great poem, and a tear down the face. It's rubbish.
It's lovely to be here. I've come all the way from Brighton. Just in case you're wondering what this haircut is about. Might be a new face for some of you people. Don't panic, the BBC invited me here because they needed a beige lesbian. So I'm just here to tick some boxes. Not your box, madam, just a metaphorical box. I'm half Spanish, that's what's happening there. I've got a Spanish mum, and she lives here in the UK. It's all very legal. She's lived longer in the UK than she's ever lived in Spain, but the brilliant thing about my mum is that she's never lost her accent. She's done very, very quickly. She's done lost words she cannot pronounce. Lost words she cannot pronounce, huh? My favourite word that my mum's never been able to pronounce is my brother's name. Difficult name, his name's Stephen. I don't know if you've noticed this, Spanish people, any word that begins with the letter S, they struggle, right? So my mum doesn't call him Stephen, she calls him Steven. What's his name, Mum? Steven. Is it? Isn't it just Stephen? Even if I don't know his name is my son, it is Steven! You don't want to mess with my mum. She's not like British people here in this country. We can be quite passive-aggressive, can't we? She's just very aggressive woman. I don't know how my mum's never really coped in this country, and I think it's because, like a lot of Mediterranean people, she's quite loud, yeah? She's got one volume. It's like this. Whereas in this country, particularly if we're middle class, we tend to be low talkers, don't we? We don't like to raise our voices, do we? Why? Because we've got money. And we just assume that if you are raising your voice, well, you're probably poor. Or worse, foreign. Great thing about having a Mediterranean mum is they feed you. Oh, my God. She's always feeding. That's her way of showing that she loves her children, is to feed us. You know, I can remember going around friends' houses, you know, like English mums. Go around an English mum's house and the conversation with mum's more like this. I think you've had enough. My mum will feed you till you puke. Anything can be going on in my life and my mum will relate it back to a meal that she's cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like, so good or bad, particularly if I'm depressed. If I phone up my mum and I've had a terrible day, yeah? I phone up my mum, conversation always goes like this. Oh, Jennifer, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time right now. But you know what? Don't worry, okay? I made a soup. Come home. You sound hungry. I made chicken curry, I made a lantagine, I made a casserole, Jennifer. I made some tortillas, some paella, some curry, Jennifer. You love curry, maybe some meatballs, some pork ball, beef ball, aniseed ball, banana ball. You're a lesbian. You don't eat enough balls. Please, come home. Eat my balls.
You know, when I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra. It had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is I thought, this message is not for me. This idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course you love your kids and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know, you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say? Small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So, I have to learn what you guys do here. And the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
First moved to our area, it was a bit shit, right? But it's got nice. It's got a little bit nicer. It's very slightly gentrified. So now everyone that owns their property, they go on Rightmove every day for a little wank. Ooh, let's have a little look at what our house is worth. Let's think of somewhere cheaper and put it in and see what we can get for it. Put it in somewhere shit, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere up north. Put that in. And then you're like, fucking hell, we could own Hull. Disgusting. It's very vulgar. So, I've never lived anywhere nice before. It's been quite interesting watching it sort of change a little bit. Like, first off, there's little signs that you notice when a change is on the horizon. Like, first off, it's the availability of sourdough. Change a coming. And then it's the pub. It's always the pub. You've got to keep an eye on the pub. The pub changes. Like our old pub, it was a sort of working class pub. Old blokes in there, smoking roll-ups, buying and selling the odd gun, watching Sky Sports, right? But they've all had to go now. They've all been kicked out and the pub's been done up. It's all shabby chic. It's all been done a bit retro. And now, you know, there's like pictures on the wall, old Polaroid photographs of working class blokes smoking roll-ups, buying and selling guns, watching Sky Sports. And you can eat there. You can get food in the pub now. You can get a rustic frittata on a distressed camping plate. Or like pizza off a bin lid. It's great. Tapas off a plank. Because gentrified people like to eat food from bits of shit in a shed, bits of crap sticking around in a garage. I've had soup out of a bedpan. Nice. I like it. You have to get a tetanus after you've had a meal, but it's nice. And parenting at Christmas time, I worry about my parenting. I don't know if I'm that good at it. I get into rows. I row with my kids. You shouldn't row with kids, should you? It's really frowned at. I said to my friend, I row with my kids. And she said, what do you mean you row with them? You mean you, like, tell them off? I said, no, because that would suggest status, wouldn't it? That would imply I've got some power in our relationship. But I don't seem to have any power. We were in the supermarket recently, getting all the shopping in. I'm quite harassed. I've got other things I need to be doing. One of them's like, no, we don't like pasta shells. We only like pasta bows. I'm like, it's the same. It's the same thing. All of the pastas are the same. The pipes and the bows and the shells and the twists. What are you looking at? I said, you don't give a toss about shape when it's chocolate, do you? No, because there's no glory in winning a row with a child. Like, if you win a row with your mate, you then tell your other mate, don't you? And then you're like, and then I said, right. And then I said, you don't give a shit about shape when it's chocolate, do ya? And I said it to her face. It's like, oh, well done with your 6-year-old kid. Well done, Kel. And my son loves to play Snap. He loves to play Dinosaur Snap. And he hates to lose, because kids do, don't they? Kids hate losing games. You won't meet a kid that loses a game that's like, no, it's fine, best of 5, let's just go again. So I have to let him win, because I'm his mum and I love him in a sort of oppressive, cloying way. So I have to let him win. He'll lose at things later in life when I can't control that for him. But for this game of Snap, I can let him win, can't I? But it turns out that my reflexes aren't as sentimental as me. So a diplodocus goes down, and then another diplodocus, and before I quite know what's happening, I'm like, snap! Snap! Ha!
I was going to be a doctor, got as far as A-level biology, and we had to cut open a rat. Remember that? You had to cut open a rat, and I discovered I couldn't stand the sight of blood or anything vaguely biological. Just had to switch it up. I was like, Mum, I had to tell my mum the doctor thing wasn't going to work out, but it was all right. I said, I'm going to be an engineer. And my mum was like, engineer? It is on the list? Okay. And then she turns to my younger brother, you will be the doctor. And that's how it ran in my family. She wasn't impressed when I decided to become a comedian. That conversation didn't go very well because I was an engineer. I worked as an engineer for years. I used to work for Otis, repairing lifts. That's what I did. And my mum was proud. Yes, my daughter, she's an engineer. And then I left that and decided to become a comedian. My mum was not impressed. She's like, comedy? Comedy? What the hell is comedy? I'm going to tell my friends in Nigeria, My daughter is a clown. But luckily for me, within 6 months of starting comedy, I got on this talent show called The Big Talent Show, hosted by Jonathan Ross. Got on this show. So I called my mum. I was like, Mama, I got through to this big talent show. It's going to be on TV. I'm through the quarterfinals. And my mum's like, oh, yeah, that's good. Very good. Interesting. Very good. Call me when you get to the final. I'm not interested in this quarterfinal, semi-final rubbish. Call me for the final. So sure enough, I got through to the final. Filmed live on television. Live. Jonathan Ross is hosting. And my mum comes down with her entourage, because my mum does not travel without a Nigerian entourage. So I do my set. Jonathan Ross is interviewing me after my set, and he sees my mum in the audience, which was not hard to spot. It was literally white people, white people, white people, and then a bank of African royalty just... So Jonathan points to my mum and he goes, is that your mum? That Gina's mum is in the audience. And I swear to God, my mum stood up like this. Yes, that is right. I am the reason the clown is here. I am the reason. I always knew she was going to be a clown. When she was 3, I bought her the big shoes. So my mum only comes out for the big shows. She only comes out for the big shows. And in fact, my mum is here tonight. Where's my mum? Where's my mum? Where's my mum over there? She's here. Where's my mum? Oh, look at her, standing up. Look at her, there she is. All right, you can sit down now, mum. You can sit down now, mum. This is my show, mum. It's my show. It's my show.
I don't know, it's really nice being married. I like it. I feel like it's turned me into a woman, you know. And I know it's turned me into a woman because I've started buying candles. Bitches love candles though, don't they? Bitches love candles. They're so expensive though, the fancy ones, like the Joe Malone ones. I've worked out it's actually better value and you can get the same effect if you just set fire to a £20 note and sniff a fig roll. Not just candles am I buying though, guys. I'm buying other little bits for the house. I call them trinkets. Australian husband calls them great. Another bit of tat with a shit quote on. It's not true, they're essentials. How else am I supposed to remember to dance like nobody is watching? Unless I have a piece of driftwood to remind me to. Essentials. But my sister says the reason I like all this stuff is because I'm nesting, and she thinks that's really good. She's like, you need to have a baby. You need to have a baby so you've got something to look after you when you're old. I'm like, hang on, isn't that what the NHS is for? Unless the NHS is that screwed that by the time I'm old, you literally have had to give birth to your own medical professional. Push, push, oh, congratulations, it's an oncologist. Because I'm not sure about having kids right now, so it means I'm very aware of my contraception. So I've done all the research for you. So the pill, 99% effective. Condoms, 99% effective. Eating a large Indian takeaway. And then going, oh, look how pregnant I look. 100% effective. But my view on kids actually helped me become a little bit of an internet sensation earlier this year. There was this thing on Facebook, I don't know if you saw it, it was called the Motherhood Challenge. So it's where mums were putting up 5 photos of themselves that made them proud to be a mother. So there were pictures of like little Ken on the beach, little Ken trying avocado for the first time, little Ken asking, what kind of a name is Ken for a toddler? Lovely, lovely. Now, I do not have a problem with anyone being proud to be a parent. I just saw a lot of this stuff, thought I'm going to do the opposite. I did the non-motherhood challenge. I posted 5 photos of myself that made me proud not to be a mother. 4 of those were pictures of me asleep. And the 5th one was of me asleep, holding a bottle of wine. Really, really silly, right? Whacked it up on Facebook, didn't really think any more about it. For some reason, it went bananas, right? It went viral, got shared a gazillion times, went all the way around the world. At one point, I became Woman of the Week on a Swahili parenting blog. interesting seeing the different responses. I got back to it. So the first lot of people to write on my Facebook page were women like me without children, saying things like, "Oh, Ellie, thanks for giving us the childless a voice." I was like, "No worries, babes, you're welcome."
But I have developed a new hobby. Some of you probably already do this. I've started listening into people's conversations on the bus and the train. It's quite entertaining. And I was listening not long ago to two old ladies, and they were talking about what they would do if they were men for a day. And I thought, this is going to be brilliant, because pensioners are, by definition, bonkers. But I went out to lunch with a couple of my friends, and I thought, well, I'll ask them the same question. So my first friend, I said, "What would you do if you were a man for a day?" Without even thinking, she just went, "I'd have a wank." Sounded like she needed to. She sounded awfully tense. But these old ladies, different generation to me and my friends, in their 80s, and one of them just said, "Edith, what would you do if you're a man for a day?" The other one said, "No, in my luck, I'd get a Tuesday." And what can you do on a Tuesday? My second friend, I said, "What would you do if you're a man for a day?" She just said, "I just do everything." And I thought she meant like in a sexual way. And I said, "Is that what you mean? Like you just do everything?" And I said, "Is that what you mean?" She went, No, just all the little jobs round the house." But I've been trying to go on a diet. I'm not really very successful. But I find that whenever I go shopping and I can't get into things, you know, when you try clothes on and you're the size you weren't expecting to be, I just come home and I put on a song, and the song is "Big Girls Don't Cry." You know the song? There's a couple of versions of it. Big girls don't cry. Such a load of rubbish, that, isn't it? Big girls don't cry. Yeah, they do. Cry because they're fat, cry because they can't get a boyfriend, and they cry because there's no trifle left. But I was on holiday in Spain last year, and I'm bragging, I know, and outside the hotel was a lovely pool, and I wanted to go in the pool, of course I did, but I'm not overly confident with my figure in a swimming costume, and I was watching the women who were walking in the pool, and these were like tiny, you know, these wafer-thin, tiny women. And I thought, I'm not going to walk in with one of them. If I walk in with one of them, people are going to think I've bloody eaten one. And I wouldn't anyway, because there's no meat on them. So what I decided to do instead is just to walk in with the children, because kids are all really fat these days. If I walk in the same time as a 9-year-old boy who's got bigger tits than me, nobody's looking at me anymore. But like I say, I don't have kids, and most of my friends don't have kids, but I think if you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids would always be childbirth. It's quite a reasonable thing to worry about childbirth. From what I understand, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want a bloody extension. But it's bound to change though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. With a shoehorn.
There's other younger people in the room, right? You know what I mean. You have only ever known a time in your life when you're trying not to get pregnant or trying not to get somebody else pregnant. And I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but on both accounts, I fucking smashed it. I think it comes down to skill set at the end of the day, doesn't it? People are just good at different things. Some people are good at the violin. Some people are good at parallel parking. I was very good at taking the pill. Every day. Honestly, I used to think I was so good at taking the pill, I deserved a reward. Arguably, there was a reward. It was the reward of not having to watch Peppa Pig or cleaning up another human's shit. Tell you what I don't understand, right, is women who are on the pill and forget to take it. Don't get that, because don't get me wrong, I forget things. I forget my keys, my wallet, the fact I'm married. Sure! But forgetting to take something that can prevent you from creating a human that could one day say, "Turn the machines off," is what she would have wanted. I'm going to remember that one, thank you. Obviously does happen, though. Women forget to take the pill, they get knocked up. Happened to a girl I used to work with, actually, when I used to work in an office, right? And we were chatting about it one day. She was so blasé. We're in the kitchen. She's just standing there rubbing her belly like, well, the thing is, I've just got really bad memory. I was thinking, that's funny, because every day without fail, you remember to steal my milk. Maybe if you'd strapped your packet of microgynon to my semi-skimmed... Stephen in accounts wouldn't be telling everyone how you trapped him. But I think the reason I was always very good at remembering to take the pill, because I've been on it for so long. I was on it since I was about 16. And the reason I started taking it was because I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kevin Sutherland. A boom, chicka, wow, wow. He was quite the catch. He had a Peugeot 106 and a tattoo of Bart Simpson, which I thought showed a great joie de vivre. And things were going very well between Kevin and I. We had matching bracelets from Argos, so you can tell how serious we were. And we'd agreed that we were going to do it for the first time, right? So I was like, right, I'll put myself on the pill because my first time is going to be really special. My first time is going to be just like in the movies. So the big day arrived, and Kevin, bless him, he made such an effort for everything to be really perfect. Like, he paid his little brother to leave the room. To this day, the most romantic thing a man has ever done for me. And he made a mix CD of all of our favourite romantic songs. You know, like Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo. And as we lay down on his single bed, with his Liverpool FC duvet cover on it, the scent of Lynx Africa heavy in the air. And as Kevin took my virginity so beautifully and gently and quickly from behind, I remember thinking, wow, just like in the movies. Obviously, it's quite difficult to make eye contact in that position, isn't it? Almost felt like I lost my virginity to Stephen Gerrard. I'll never walk alone. I never will.
But, we've moved now. We've moved to a place called Pinner. We only moved to Pinner because the estate agent said to us, he said, oh, Pinner is a lovely part of West London. West London. We get Welsh telly. It's not London. It's not London. But it is very nice. One of the things I like about where we live is it's very multicultural. I think that's one of the brilliant things about London. I think multiculturalism is something we really have to fight for. Like the school my kids go to, it was very easy to pick a school for my kids because obviously we just picked the one with the highest ceilings. But the school they go to, it's a really nice school and it's very diverse. Like we have a mum's night out once a month and all the mums from the school go and there are women there from every economic background, every race, every religion, and we have a fantastic time and the Muslim mums drive us home. Tell you what, it is nice. I had an incident the other day, though. I was walking down the street near where I live, and it was one of those sunny days, one of those days that remind some van drivers that women have breasts. You know, one of those. And I was walking down the street, and there was a van drove up and slowed down, and two guys leaned out of the van, and they were in classic kind of leching position. And I knew they weren't going to be looking at me because I am 44 years old. And in fact, my older friends, when I was turning 40, they said, oh, being over 40, it makes you invisible, right? And I have found, yes, that is true, but the brilliant thing is it mostly makes you invisible to dickheads. So it's not really a problem, it's a superpower, if anything. So I'm walking down the street, these two guys are leaning out of this van, and I see they're leching, but they're looking past me at a younger woman, a woman in her 20s, who is walking alongside me. And these guys do the classic thing. They lean out of the van and they gave this woman a very detailed appraisal of her anatomy. You know, they covered all the main areas in bullet-pointed form, very thorough. And then they went on to suggest what I can only describe as a smorgasbord of activities they felt they would enjoy indulging in with her were they not under pressure of time to get to the next plumbing job. So they did all this and they drove off. And naturally, I turned to this woman and I said, oh my gosh, are you okay? That was horrific. And she said, no, I'm fine. It happens all the time. And I thought, yeah, it does when you're in your 20s, doesn't it? And we were chatting about how silly it was as we walked down the street. And then we got further down the road and the traffic had slowed down and this van had come to a stop. And I think a few years ago I would have just left it, said nothing. But this year I thought, you know what, if I'm going to be invisible, you know who else is invisible? Ninjas. I am going to be a bloody middle-aged ninja. I'm going to strike, right? So I went up to the van and I just leaned in and I said, oh, hi, guys. Listen, sorry to bother you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you did back there because my son here has been undergoing a very difficult gender reassignment. He's been worried that it's not going that well, but what you did back there really made him feel like a proper woman. Thank you. I was delighted with myself as well. But what was really special was that then the young woman next to me leaned in beside me and in the deepest voice I've ever heard, just went, yeah, thanks, guys. It was a beautiful moment. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. The only thing that could have made it perfect would have been if the guys in the van had said, actually, if your child is undergoing a gender reassignment, it's incredibly insensitive of you still to be referring to her using the male pronoun. They didn't do that. They just called us slags.
All of the parenting stresses me out. All of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh, no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion. Those virtue names, it's a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Sacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. He'd end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's not funny. My child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school. And I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. That's not ideal, is it? very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, This is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. It's not like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
I am what you call in show business a triple threat. I do comedy, and I do music, and I will cut you. Just joking, I probably won't. So it's so fantastic to be here today. I will be doing a little bit of music, so if you're a fan of NWA or Snoop Doggy Dogg, then I apologise. I'll be about 3 minutes. So this first song, this is about travelling on a train. Could you give me a cheer, Apollo, if you've ever been on a train before? About half. OK, great. Lovely. Well, the half of you who cheered, that means you are my target demographic. Congratulations. So I'm going to sing this song. This is about the worst thing any of us can ever encounter on a train journey. Just before I sing it, I have had some problems at previous gigs, actually, so I just want to make something crystal clear. If you listen carefully, I'm not even saying the word Hindu. Just listen harder. Hindu on a train. Hindu on a train. Cowboy hats and penis cakes. Neck tattoos and big L plates. And voices like a foghorn in a drain. Hindu on a train. Groping every passing male. I suspect you've been to jail. And God willing, you might all go again. And although I have so many things to say to you, I'm aware that there are 6 of you, and all of you have had more fights than me. I've never glassed someone, but I do know how. Perhaps I'll glass you now. Hindu on a train. You brought your own speakers too, brilliant. To belt out Calvin Harris tunes. I mean, the maid of honor's clearly on cocaine. Hindu on a train. You see me staring and you threaten me. Then drunkenly you all set on me, and with a dick-shaped bottle take your aim. If you only knew, we're not so different, me and you. Just 3 months ago, my friends Hindu, we got drunk and we pretty much hijacked a plane. We were worse than you. We went down on all the crew. Mostly reluctant gay men, some women too. We got thrown out of Spain. You see, we're all the same, but you're not listening, you're bashing out my brain. Hindu on a train.
I'd just like to tell you a true story, right? This is what it's like living in London nowadays. In fact, it's the same everywhere, really. What I hate is the hard sell. You know, you get the hard sell, right? I got it the other day. You know when people ring you up and say, you know, do you want to combine the gas with the electric, right? I know, I was thinking, oh, that sounds dangerous, right? I hate the hard sell. It's horrible, isn't it? This is a true story. The other day, I was lying in bed with a hangover. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it, when your cock's so big it won't stay in the bed. I'm glad I did a stinking hangover. And I get this phone call, right? And I knew this bloke was trying to sell me something with his opening line, right? Because he said, "Hello, sir. How are you today?" I said, "No, thank you." And he genuinely got the hump and said, "No, thank you, what?" I said, "Sorry, no, thank you, please." He said, "I'm phoning from EDF." I said, "I'm not interested." He said, "I haven't told you what it is yet." I said, "I know exactly why you're ringing. You're ringing to offer me a free season ticket to Wembley plus unlimited access to Dirty Brenda's all-night knocking shop with as many chocolate hobnobs as I can eat." And he said, "No, I'm not. I'm ringing to talk about your domestic fuel bills." I said, "Well, why didn't you say that in the first place? Keep talking, son." He said, "Well, sir," because he didn't get the sarcasm. He said, "How would you feel about paying less for your gas?" I said, "Honestly?" He said, "Yes." I said, "I reckon I'd feel exactly the same, but I'd be paying less for me gas." He said, "Can I ask you, who's your current supplier?" I said, "Oh, it's Big Pete. He comes round every Thursday on a moped." I said, "Oh, sorry, gas. I thought you meant electricity." I said, "It's British Gas." He said, "Can I ask what you chose then, sir?" I said, "Well, it's a funny story. I needed some gas, and I live in Britain, and I don't know what it was, but they seem to be ticking all the right boxes." And at this point, he genuinely got the hump and said, "Do you know what? I think I'll ring someone else who'll answer my questions less sarcastically." I said, "Yeah, you can phone someone else. They'll be less sarcastic. They'll probably stay on the phone longer, but they'll still end up saying no to you anyway." I said, "Now, I don't know who's providing your current rejection, but if you were to switch to me, I would combine the rejection with the sarcasm and save you up to 15% a year on your cold calling time." And do you know what he did then? Do you know what he did? He tried to offer me nectar points. Let me tell you something about nectar points, ladies and gentlemen. I spent the last 2 years collecting nectar points. Do you know how many I've got? Enough for a tiny little jar of honey. I'd be better off collecting bloody nectar. And I'm glad you laughed at that joke, because when I did it a month ago in Ireland, it got nothing. Honest to God, I did a gig 2 nights in Ireland. First night, I did that joke about the nectar of the nectar points, got nothing. I walked off stage, and the bloke that travels around me went, I said, "Why did that joke not get a laugh? The nectar of the nectar points." He went, "Oh, I know why. They don't have nectar points in Ireland." "What are you telling me now for after the gig?" He said, "Don't worry, tomorrow night, say Tesco's points." Do you know what? I don't know what's worse. The fact that he suggested that, or the fact that half of you are now looking at me going, "Well, Lee, what happened? Did it work? What's that?" Don't leave us hanging, Lee. Did it work? What about niggle points? Esther points?
One of the major good things that's come out of it is how we've embraced new technology, isn't it? Because it's just unbelievable. Who knew what Zoom was 2 years ago? None of us. Like last week, I had to do a speed awareness course online. Now, you should be doing that on something called Zoom, but that's the world we're in now. It's the world we're in. I've got a phone that can recognise my face. That already makes it better than my nan. Come on! I embrace new technology. I do, because could you imagine if this pandemic had happened like 30 years ago? No internet, no Zoom, no Pornhub. I don't know why I looked at you, sir, but I did. Because I think we've forgotten, here in 2021, we've forgotten what really being bored feels like. Like proper bored. My friend's little boy said the other day he gets bored waiting for an app to load. Fuck off, mate. That is not boredom, is it? I'm talking Sunday afternoon in the 80s. That was boredom. When it was raining, you'd read every book in the house. I grew up in Maidstone. That's a Mills and Boon and an Argos catalogue. Your mum's watching something black and white on the only telly in the house, so you listen to your Walkman for a bit, but the batteries are dying, so Madonna's Like a Virgin sounds like Barry White singing it. You can't go and buy more Ashby's, can you? You can't, because all the shops are shut. And I mean, all the shops are shut. Even the petrol stations are shut. And then when you think your day can't get any more tedious, your dad would go, get in the car, everyone. We're going to go and visit someone. That's what we do, isn't it? On a Sunday afternoon in the 80s, we would visit people for no reason other than to ruin their day. Do you know what? Young people don't believe this when you tell them. We never told them we were coming. Could you imagine doing that to someone today? They'd be livid, wouldn't they? We used to spend every Sunday with people wishing that they'd hoovered and we'd fuck off, didn't we? I'm right, aren't I? The only people who phoned ahead in the 1980s were the IRA. Fact. I wouldn't be a teenager now, though, would you? I wouldn't be a teenager now. When I think of the things I did when I was a teenager, the thought of that being on the internet forever makes me feel physically sick. It does. The way they have to communicate with each other is something I just can't understand. You know, sexting. I couldn't write a sext. I don't know what to put in a birthday card. When I was a teenager, if I wanted to leave a sexy message for a boy, I'd have to ring his landline and leave a message with his mum. You're into what, dear? All over your what? Different times, isn't it? Different times. There was a boy I fancied at school. I couldn't text him to write him a note, stick it in his school bag. And I'd make him a mixtape. Write him a poem. That's all we had, didn't we? I genuinely think a 14-year-old girl today, she would be more freaked out if you sent her a poem than if you sent her a picture of your knob. Poem would freak her out more. She'd be with her friends going, I mean, it was like a song, but it wasn't a song. And there was no cock in it. Not even a bollock, no. Different times, you know. Different. Apparently, young people today, they are most likely now to have their very first sexual experience online. Do you know that? Via FaceTime or Skype. They're not even in the same room. You've got one teenager in this house on their phone and the other teenager in this house on their phone, and that's how they're having their first sexual experience. And I just think, do you know what? Getting fingered behind a caravan at a fairground is not ideal. But at least I was getting some fresh air.
I like the mix of different people that we get in the UK. I don't agree with UKIP. UKIP say we've got too many foreigners in this country. I've done a bit of research on my own, and the fact is there's actually a lot more foreigners in other countries. I agree with UKIP on the euro. I don't think we should get the euro. I think that would be bad for business. I mean, Poundland's buggered. I think we got it pretty good in the UK, is what I think. But people still love to complain, innit? Are you all right? Nah, what's wrong? My phone battery died. Are you all right? Nah, I'm well stressed about what I'm gonna wear. Are you all right? Nah, I've got like irritable bowels. What? Do you think people complain about them sorts of things in countries where they don't have everything that we does? I mean, can you imagine the children in need appeal? I mean, you've got scenes all across Africa. You've got the cheesy charity music in the background. You've got Dean Gaffney looking emotional down the camera. Got an African child next to him. And Basie is just 12 years of age. And Basie is just another victim here in Africa. And Basie needs your help. And Basie is gluten intolerant. And if he attempts to eat rice or bread or certain types of muesli, he gets a slightly bloated feeling in his tummy. Please give generously. £2 will allow Basie to buy some gluten-free hummus. £5 will allow him to have the time he needs to regularly tweet about his condition. And £20 will mean Basie can make the life-changing visit he needs to Holland and Barrett. I've got to get out of here. Yeah, I'm proper knackered, man. When you have a kid, kiss goodbye to sleep. That is for sure, people. Last night, about 4 a.m, I'm spark out in my bed. I'm in there. Little boy comes into my room. Daddy! 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 Yeah, can I come and sleep in your bed? I've wet my bed. Yeah, of course you can. In you come. I warn you, I've had too much to drink and I've done the same myself.
Oi, this is nice, isn't it? Yes. Is anyone here in their 40s? Is it? You're not in your 40s? Have you guys started walking like this yet? It happens like clockwork, you know? It's mad. Like, I'll be walking around the co-op like I'm in an art gallery, just... Reduced by how much? Not enough. That and I've got a boner for linen. Ooh. In it. I literally go out shopping for fabric and I'm like, give me a fabric that will crease really easily. Yes. I want to iron it for at least an hour. That's for me. That and candles. Woo! Now listen, I used to party hard. And I found that burning your money via candles is a great replacement. When I say I like candles, yeah, I'm going diptyque, baby. Thank you. I'm going Joe Malone. Fig for me. Which also, like, I'm from a council estate. What does fig really smell like? Does anyone... I'm just going on what Joe Malone told me, you know what I mean? These candles are expensive. I reckon for a £5 I could probably buy 50 figs, chuck it in the oven and just waft it around the house a few times. The dream is, yeah, I want enough money that I can light a Joe Malone candle when it's just me in the house. Come with me, people. Can you imagine coming home to your yard, it's just you in, and you're like, you know what? Fig for me. As it is, if you was over my house and I had a candle on the go, no lie, after about 20 minutes, I'll start thinking that's about £17 worth of scent now. What kind of friend is he anyway? Is that enough? I realise there's nothing more insulting than someone lighting your scented candles when you're not there to enjoy the scent. Innit? I had my brother house sitting for me, right? I was away for a couple of weeks. I walked back into the house. As soon as I opened up the door, I was like... I walked into the front room. This guy is reclining on my sofa, lighting his spliff with my Joe Malone candle. The ash was falling into the wax. I was like, you all right? Yeah, you good? Now, we know as British people, when our voices go high like that, we mean the opposite, right? The higher our voices go, the less we're about it. You know what I mean? If someone's like, you coming to a party? You're like, yeah! What that means is, I'm not coming to your party, mate. So I said, you all right? What are you doing? He's like, oh, it's just a bit of mood lighting, isn't it? It's like, IKEA tea light is mood lighting. That's not even it. It was a 3-wick candle. Only 1 wick was lit. Thank you.
I'm not a homosexual. Thank you for laughing at that. Any gays in? There's a few. Kill them! No. You're not gay in that shirt, honestly. No, I'm bisexual, which means you're all at risk. Start with you and work round, that's what we're going to do. No, as you can tell, I'm an absolute lad. So, it's just backstage, having a lager and punching a woman. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, that's the thing to cheer, yeah. That's what I came for, punching women gags. No, I'm not very laddie at all. I did something very unladdie recently in Birmingham. I'm from Birmingham. You'd never tell, would you? I never had the accent. I was born better. But I'm joking. I love it. I do love the accent when I hear it. I was in Starbucks in Birmingham recently because I'm earning, and these two women were having a conversation with the thickest sort of black country accents, and the one said to the other, she said, "You're still going to take the kids to the Middle East?" And the other one said, "Yeah, I'm going to take the babai to Abu Dhabi." Right. I had to leave Starbucks. I was in so much pain laughing. No, I did. This is really unladdie. I was in the Touchwood Shopping Centre, which I think is the gayest name for a shopping centre, isn't it? You had a lovely time there. These two sort of roughly 14-year-old lads tried to mug me. They came up to me and they went, "Give us your wallet." And I went, "No." And then farted out of nervousness, because I was so terrified, absolutely terrified. I was like, "What are you going to do if I don't give you my wallet?" And they're like, "Oh, we're going to headbutt you." They'd be lucky, because they're about this high. Also, the headbutt is the worst threat ever, isn't it? Because, sure, hit somebody in the head. That is a weak point. What are you going to hit them with? My head. That's like hitting some of the balls with your balls, isn't it? We might do that later, who knows? I don't know where I got the confidence from, but I just went, "I've got a knife." And I sort of did, because I'd just been to Lakeland, so I did. But it wasn't a knife, it was a pizza wheel, so... I didn't stab them, I cut them into 8 neat slices. It was fine. I mentioned farting there. I'm good at farting. That's a masculine thing, isn't it? Are you good at farting, sir? No. What's the longest one you've ever done? I haven't timed it. Mine's 14 seconds, which I think might be a medical emergency. I'm not sure. Somebody asked me, how did I know it was 14 seconds? Genuinely, it was because I was watching Countdown at the time. I'm not laddie, but I have a sort of naughty side, and I call it walrus. And that's because my spirit animal is a walrus. Don't worry, I don't believe in any of this nonsense before I move on. I don't believe in, like, ghosts or any of that. I hate when people say they believe in ghosts, because they always say things like, "I saw a ghost at the end of my bed." It's always in a conveniently creepy place, isn't it? No one ever goes, "I saw a ghost in Morrison's." So it just doesn't happen.
When we first moved to our area, it was a bit shit, right? But it's got nice. It's got a little bit nicer. It's very slightly gentrified. So now everyone that owns their property, they go on Rightmove every day for a little wank. Like, ooh, let's have a little look at what our house is worth. Let's think of somewhere cheaper and put it in and see what we can get for it. Put it in somewhere shit, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere up north. Put that in. And then you're like, fucking hell, we could own Hull. Disgusting. It's very vulgar. So, I've never lived anywhere nice before. It's been quite interesting watching it sort of change a little bit. Like, first off, there's little signs that you notice when a change is on the horizon. Like, first off, it's the availability of sourdough. Change a coming. And then it's the pub. It's always the pub. You've got to keep an eye on the pub. The pub changes. Like our old pub, it was a sort of working class pub. Old blokes in there, smoking roll-ups, buying and selling the odd gun, watching Sky Sports, right? But they've all had to go now. They've all been kicked out and the pub's been done up. It's all shabby chic. It's all been done a bit retro. And now, you know, there's like pictures on the wall, old Polaroid photographs of working class blokes smoking roll-ups, buying and selling guns, watching Sky Sports. And you can eat there. You can get food in the pub now. You can get a rustic frittata on a distressed camping plate. Or like pizza off a bin lid. It's great. Tapas off a plank. Because gentrified people like to eat food from bits of shit in the shed, bits of crap that's sticking around in the garage. I've had soup out of a bedpan. No. I like it. You have to get a tetanus after you've had a meal, but it's nice. And parenting at Christmas time, I worry about my parenting. I don't know if I'm that good at it. I get into rows. I row with my kids. You shouldn't row with kids, should you? It's really frowned at. I said to my friend, I row with my kids. And she said, what do you mean you row with them? You mean you, like, tell them off? I said, no, because that would suggest status, wouldn't it? That would imply I've got some power in our relationship. But I don't seem to have any power. We were in the supermarket recently, getting all the shopping in. I'm quite harassed. I've got other things I need to be doing. One of them's like, no, we don't like pasta shells. We only like pasta bows. I'm like, it's the same. It's the same thing. All of the pastas are the same. The pipes and the bows and the shells and the twists. What are you looking at? I said, you don't give a toss about shape when it's chocolate, do you? No, because there's no glory in winning a row with a child. Like, if you win a row with your mate, you then tell your other mate, don't you? And then you're like, and then I said, right? And then I said, you don't give a shit about shape when it's chocolate, do ya? And I said it to her face. It's like, oh, well done with your 6-year-old kid. Well done, Kel. And my son loves to play Snap. He loves to play Dinosaur Snap. And he hates to lose, because kids do, don't they? Kids hate losing games. You won't meet a kid that loses a game that's like, no, it's fine, best of 5, let's just go again. So I have to let him win, because I'm his mum and I love him in a sort of oppressive, cloying way. So I have to let him win. He'll lose at things later in life when I can't control that for him. But for this game of Snap, I can let him win, can't I? But it turns out that my reflexes aren't as sentimental as me. So a diplodocus goes down, and then another diplodocus, and before I quite know what's happening, I'm like, snap! Snap! Ha!
So I came to Britain in the early 80s. We were refugees long before it became fashionable. But my favourite immigrants are Polish people, because they've properly confused old-fashioned racists. Have you seen them? They don't know what to do. What do we do? What do we say? They're immigrants, but they're white. I heard this one bloke go, bloody Poles coming over here with their work ethic. Which isn't very politically correct, and I try so hard to be politically correct. Sometimes I take it too far. I was at a party recently and I said to my friend, have you met Steve? He's a really nice guy. My friend goes, which one's Steve? Steve was the only black guy in the room. I found myself going, Steve, yeah, he's over there. He's got blue jeans on, a grey T-shirt, sort of curly hair, and a Nigerian accent. And once I was performing at a comedy club and there was 2 black guys in the front row, like you two, but men and black. You are a man, sir, I'm sorry. It's the lights. And I said to them, so how do you two know each other? And they looked at each other and went, we don't. Might as well have had NF tattooed on my forehead. I didn't, it was felt tip. I like friendly, a little bit of friendly racism is nice. When I was a little girl, I used to always go to my friend Katie's house, and every time her dad opened the door, he'd go, hello, Shappy, been on holiday? So, I have a little boy, I have a baby boy, I'm a mum, and I'm looking at you, some of you are so young, I could be your mummy if I lived somewhere rural. Like a lot of women, I got to my 30s and I thought, I've got to have a baby now. Why, my mum's still young enough to look after it for me. And I went to all the antenatal classes, and this woman came up to me, one of the other mums goes, oh, how are you planning on losing your baby weight? And I was like, well, I was just thinking of having the child. And And she was like, oh, I'm going to be a yummy mummy. I'm going to lose all about a yummy mummy. That's just like a middle-class way of saying MILF. I was so happy when I found out that I was pregnant. And we had a scan and we knew that it was a boy. And people said to me, why did you find out the sex of your baby? Didn't you want a surprise? Well, it's going to be a boy or a girl, do you know what I mean? The only surprise would have been if it was a puppy. And there are no puppies in my family. There's one goat, it's not a blood relation. Thank goodness I have a child now. It was no fun being a broody Iranian woman. Every time I said to people, my body thought's ticking, they'd hit the ground. So with all that going on, when I did find out I was pregnant, I was so delighted. I thought, I am going to fill this child's life up with love and hope and understanding. My husband's reaction was slightly different. He walked around going, woohoo, my soldiers worked! Easy. It's not his. Oh, the fuss he made when he found out I was cheating on him. Only child. Can't share. My husband's English, he's from Nottingham, and a lot of people ask me if my husband's Iranian. And I go, well, he's not, he's English, but he's planning to convert. His family are absolutely lovely, and when they first met me, they kept going, oh, Shappy's so exotic, she's so exotic, which means foreign, but not in a way that we hate.
I was talking about Danny Alves, the black football player who had a banana chucked at him, right? And I said, after it happened, my white friends, not being racist, just casually were asking me how I felt. Now, how I felt was I was offended, but not for the reason that they thought I'd be offended. Like, I wasn't offended because it was racist. I was offended because of how it was racist, you know? The guy chucked a banana. Really? A banana? What kind of lazy, boring, uncreative racism is that, man? It's not the 18th century, it's the 21st century. Black people, we've moved on. We like other things now, you know? Chuck a Nando's menu, man. A banana. That's not racism, that's potassium. I'm not offended by that. Up your game, Belen. What's wrong with you? So, yeah, man. Love sports, man. I'm a massive sports fan. Me and my mates always arguing about sports, you know, always arguing about stuff. Like, we got into one argument, me and one of my mates in particular, we got into an argument start of the year. A former football player, he came out in the news, right, to reveal that he's gay. Now, that's cool. Fair credit to him for coming out, that's all good. However, at the same time, I can't help but think, why is it someone famous revealing that they're gay is still seen as a headline? No, it shouldn't be a headline to be gay in today's day and age. Like, so what, you know? Like, that shouldn't be a headline. It's like, okay, it's cool. You're gay. What do you want, a cookie? You know? A cock. Not gonna say fuck, go for it, right? No big deal, right? But then the weird thing was, after that player came out, I was talking to a mate of mine who is gay, because that's what happens every time there's a story in the news that's linked to gay people. I was asking him how gay people felt as a whole, right? But I was saying, I was like, bruv, I don't get it. Like, why is it a big deal to be gay in today's day and age? Like, it's not a taboo, it's normal, it's accepted, it's cool, right? But then my mate, he was like, no, Nathan, let me stop you there, okay? Yes, I hear what you mean, you know, the world is more tolerant, it's more liberal, yeah, I get that. But trust me, if someone famous comes out, it's still a big issue, innit? Because, like, gay people, we're still seen as a minority, you know? It's like you being black, for example. No, it's not. Like, when I was 17, 18 years old, I didn't have to gather my family together. Mum, grandma, I've got something to tell you guys, yeah? Mum, remember the other day when you came in my room and I was reading a Nando's menu and you asked me why? Remember that? And, grandma, remember last weekend when I picked you up and I was half an hour late for no reason? Remember that? Yeah? Well, basically, it's because I'm What, why, what? What who is? What who is? It's because I'm Noah. In my house? You is? You is? Yeah, I'm urban.
Oh, yes. You know what I love about London town is we welcome all the people from all around the world, innit? I bet you he's got people from overseas in the house tonight. Overseas people, show me some love. Loads and loads and loads. What about over there? I saw a few people who was from overseas. Where are you from, guys? Australia. Welcome the Australians. There's so many Aussies in London. We even got nicknames for each other. That's crazy. You call us Poms, innit? Yeah, we call you racists. Welcome, you legend, my man. Do you miss it out there, all the beaches and the barbecues and all that? Yeah, probably about time you pissed off home, innit? Jokes, 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 you legend. It's just banter. Do you know what I mean? We'll have a drink in the bar afterwards? Yes. Promise you'll serve me first, though. Welcome to you. Isn't this nice? All the different foreign people. Who else has we got in the house? Yeah, legend over there. You're proud of where you're from. Where you from? Wales. You idiot. They get well wound up when we call them sheep shaggers, innit? Don't know why you don't just stop it, but there you go. Welcome, geese. I've been to Wales. It's a nice place, isn't it? There's even like a time difference, ain't there, which I couldn't believe. Yes, I was in Swansea. They're about 8 years behind. Welcome to Wales, man. Who else has we got in? And it's nice. What's that, you legend? Kenya? Oh, welcome, you legend. I've got African relatives of my own. I feel like there's a bond there. I never knew I had African relatives until I got an email out of the blue about 2 weeks ago. Welcome. I love it all, man. All the different cultures, all the different things, different accents. Ain't that fun? Everyone's got different accents. I hear different accents, I think of different things. I hear like Australian accent, I'm thinking sport. You know, I hear Italian accent, I'm thinking food. I hear Indian accent, I think I'm about to be put on hold. Welcome all of yous, man. Welcome all of yous. Because that's the thing about London, we do welcome ya. You know, come along, have a giggle. I'll say there's only one day every year when we don't welcome the foreigners. And we let all the frustrations on the foreigners out of the system. Just one day every year in London. Londoners, you know what I'm talking about, innit? That one day every year, we close down all the roads in the centre of London. And thousands of people chase after these 5 Kenyans. And a load of people in wheelchairs. It's not nice.
You were excited about the release of Windows 7, weren't you? You're not normal, are you, Will? That's what it boils down to. You worry me, and I'll tell you why, yeah? I mean, you're a nice lad. But what you're forgetting, and that everyone else here has remembered tonight, is that today is tomorrow's history, isn't it? Yeah? Think about it. Today is tomorrow's history. And, yeah, history's written by the winners, Will. Yeah, French history books, of course, are blank from cover to cover. The point is... Yeah, and I'm worried, what if the world ended right now, ladies and gentlemen? What if the world ended right now? And it could happen. The ice caps could melt, we'd all be drowned, couldn't we, yeah? And someone could leave the taps on, we could all be drowned. The greenhouse effect could take effect, couldn't it? And the world will be plagued by a plague of tiny green unripe tomatoes. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah? Well, the Chinese, all of them, Chinese, all at once, all of the Chinese, all of them could jump up and down, like that. And crack the Earth's crust. It could happen, Will. The thing with you, Will, is I'm worried. What if the archaeologists of the future, in 1,000,000 years' time, you know what archaeologists are like, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah? They dig a hole, they find one leather shoe, and then they can paint a picture of an entire bloody city based on the strength of that one leather shoe. What if, in 1,000,000 years' time, they find you, Will, the sole surviving remnant of all human civilization? Yeah? They're going to think we're a bunch of wankers. It's not personal. It's for the sake of everyone else, my friends. Well, if in 1,000,000 years' time they find you at the bottom, they find an aspirin inhaler, a V45 cream, a book of blank verse, some subtitled French films, and the manual for Windows 7. And they look at you and they look at us, and we will be judged. So, I'm offering you something, mate. What I want to do right now, for the sake of all mankind, is fix you. Right now, live on stage. Yeah? Up you come, Will. Round of applause for Will. Up you come, son. Come on, son. Of course you come, pal. Welcome. Welcome. Look at them all. It's Will, ladies and gentlemen. It's Will. Welcome. Yeah, you got any hobbies, Will?
I quite like tennis.
You quite like tennis?
Quite like tennis.
I've got a lot of work to do here, haven't I? You disgust me. Now,
It's a good game.
Shut up. Now, what we're going to do, it's dead simple. What we're going to do is we're going to do compare and contrast between me and you. Right? Normal and Will. Right?
Okay.
You up for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so put your hands out in front of yourself like that. Like that, so everyone can see them. Yeah? That's it. Yeah? Now look at my hands.
Yeah.
Now look at your hands. Yeah? Now look at my hands. Now look at your hands. Now look at my hands. Now look at your hands. Now, tell me, Will, what have I got that you ain't?
You've got 2 rings on.
No, it's not the rings. But what's happening there, mate, is I'm pointing at the moon and you're looking at my finger. Can't see the wood for the trees. What I've got that you haven't is class. Isn't it?
How so?
No, look, I'll sort you out, pal. Here, put this on. Put that on.
It's too big.
Yeah, put it on.
Which finger?
Yeah, shut your face.
Which finger?
Put it on. That one, you donut. There you go. And the other one. There you go. Yeah, and now, here we go. Let's sort you out. Yeah, you got rubber bands on and stuff, haven't you? Hey, rubber bands. Yeah, to show how much money you're giving to charity. You arsehole. Hey, shut. Yeah. We're nearly there. Let's see it. Nearly. One last touch for you, Will. 1 second. Here we go, pal. How about this? Yeah. Put this on. Put this on. There we go. Yeah, pop that on. Yeah. Calm yourself down, Kerry. There we go. Fantastic. Now take a look. You feel better. It looks better, doesn't it, Jamin? Yeah.
My girlfriend said to me, "Have you been having sex behind my back?" I said, "Who the fucking hell do you think it was?" And another thing, it wouldn't kill you to look round once in a while, check how I'm doing. Well, I'm Jimmy Carr, and we've got Alan Carr on the show later on. How about that? I keep on getting mistaken for Alan Carr, so what I've done is I've stopped sucking men off. Don't get the wrong idea. You know, I'm a very gay-friendly act. I was asked last year to judge Mr. Gay UK. I said, no problem at all. He's against nature and against God, and he's going to hell. Right, who have we got in the audience this evening? We've got Nikki Hambleton-Jones is in. Hello. I've seen your show. Yours is the one where you get ladies naked and then they cry. We've all been there. For me, that's a very successful Friday night out. Have we got James Morrison? Is James Morrison in the house? Where's he? Can't believe it. Hello, James. How are you? An amazing musician, especially if you find James Blunt a bit rocky. You Give Me Something's an amazing song. You Give Me Something is my favourite song ever about chlamydia. My favourite, I love it. Dean Macy's here. Where's Dean Macy? Dean Macy? You're our hope for Beijing, aren't you, in the decathlon? I love the decathlon. You know, it's where you do 10 different things, isn't it? Sort of jack of all trades, master of none. If you don't mind me saying. The 2012 Olympics is going to cost £8 billion, which is, you know, a lot of money. It's probably going to bankrupt London, but you can't put a price on 2 bronze medals in cycling. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, the highest speed ever achieved on a bicycle was done by a British man, 166 miles per hour on a bike. It was recorded at a level crossing. £8 billion is a lot of money. I mean, for that kind of money, we could have another 3 weeks in Iraq. I don't have a stalker, but I do have a woman that sends me pants in the post. Thanks, Mum. People ask me how I relax, so I tell them. I put Smarties tubes onto cats' legs to make them walk like a robot. If I'm really stressed, I make them go down the stairs. It's adorable, they look so confused. I realise some of you will be worried about the cat. Don't worry about the cat. If it's hurt, if it breaks its leg, it's already got a splint on. I should warn you, don't kick off this evening. I'm middle class, but I'm hard. Al dente, you might say. If you got the al dente reference, you're middle class too. Well done. I've got quite a posh voice, though. Would you agree with that, Hammersmith? It's quite a posh voice, but we've all got a phone voice. Mine's quite breathy. I quite like those phone sex lines. I like them because they're the only place in the world where premature ejaculation is an advantage. I once came in under 75 pence.
The problem is the builders, my dad's mate, he's a proper geezer, proper South East London geezer. One of those builders that, you know, that walk, just walks like that, his legs like he's got a pool table between his legs. And he walks like that, and also he's got those really thin jogging bottoms. You know, those like grey jogging bottoms that builders wear? I don't know where they get them from. They're so thin, and it just grabs onto anything that's there. It's just, I feel like I'm getting stared out by his knob and balls as he comes in. And sometimes it's weirder than him being naked. I don't know why. It feels more intrusive. He's like, hello, son, what we got here? I don't know. Everything's walking around like that. I reckon I could draw his knob and bollocks from memory better than mine. So he's coming like that, and I'm like, oh, God. I go, do you want a cup of tea? He goes, yeah, I'll have a cup of tea. I went, how many sugars? He went, 13. That's not a cup of tea anymore, it's a pudding. That's an Angel Delight of a tea bag, innit? 13 sugars, I'd our mate sticking it in. It's about £3 worth of sugar. He's only come round for a quote, it's already cost me. I put 14 in to test him. Give it him. He went, it's a bit sweet, innit? You winding me up, you're on 13, you greedy bastard. Old type 2 Terry's come round and it's a bit sweet for him, is it? When are you going to do this job? I want it done before your foot comes off, all right? Anyway, I had a Kit Kat in the fridge, right? I thought, right, let's get him back on side of Kit Kat, right? He's into sugar. I like introducing people to new things. See if he wants a Kit Kat. 4-finger Kit Kat. Like, how would you eat a Kit Kat? 4 fingers? I've said that wrong, haven't I? I thought you looked at me funny. Sorry, I said that like it was your name. What I meant to say... I don't know what I meant to say. I meant to how would you eat a 4-finger Kit Kat? But I went, how would you eat a Kit Kat? 4 fingers. Oh, hello, 4 fingers, how's it going? Who needs thumbs, eh? Me to smoke by the looks of things. Sorry about that. Not an ideal nickname for a young lady, is it, really? So what would you do? One finger at a time? Is that what you'd... Should we start again? Should we start again? Sorry, what's your name? Anita. Nice to meet you, Anita. Sorry for calling you Four Fingers. Anyway, Anita, how'd you meet your Kit Kat? That's what I was going for. One at a time, right. One at a time's a normal approach to a fourth. Got there. Yes. Anyway, one at a time's a normal approach to a four-finger Kit Kat, isn't it, right? I gave this builder a four-finger Kit Kat. He picked it up, put the whole thing in his mouth at once. Bit into it like he was eating a bun. Dirty ogre sugar bitch. What kind of animal is one popping a four-finger Kit Kat?
I was going to be a doctor. Got as far as A-level biology, and we had to cut open a rat. Remember that? You had to cut open a rat, and I discovered I couldn't stand the sight of blood or anything vaguely biological. Just had to switch it up. I was like, Mum, I had to tell my mum the doctor thing wasn't going to work out, but it was all right. I said, I'm going to be an engineer. And my mum was like, engineer? It is on the list. Okay. And then she turns to my younger brother. You will be the doctor. And that's how it ran in my family. She wasn't impressed when I decided to become a comedian. That conversation didn't go very well because I was an engineer. I worked as an engineer for years. I used to work for Otis, repairing lifts. That's what I did. And my mum was proud. Yes, my daughter, she's an engineer. And then I left that and decided to become a comedian. My mum was not impressed. She's like, comedy. Comedy? What the hell is comedy? I'm going to tell my friends in Nigeria, My daughter is a clown. But luckily for me, within 6 months of starting comedy, I got on this talent show called The Big, Big Talent Show, hosted by Jonathan Ross. Got on this show. So I called my mum. I was like, Mama, I got through to this big talent show. It's going to be on TV. I'm through the quarterfinals. And my mum was like, oh, yeah, that's good. Very good. Interesting. Very good. Call me when you get to the final. I'm not interested in this quarterfinal, semi-final rubbish. Call me for the final. So sure enough, I got through to the final, filmed live on television, live. Jonathan Ross is hosting, and my mum comes down with her entourage, because my mum does not travel without a Nigerian entourage. So I do my set. Jonathan Ross is interviewing me after my set, and he sees my mum in the audience, which was not hard to spot. It was literally white people, white people, white people, and then a bank of African royalty just... So Jonathan points to my mum and he goes, is that your mum? That Gina's mum is in the audience. And I swear to God, my mum stood up like this. Yes, that is right. I am the reason the clown is here. I am the reason. I always knew she was going to be a clown. When she was 3, I bought her the big shoes. So my mum only comes out for the big shows. She only comes out for the big shows. And in fact, my mum is here tonight. Where's my mum? Where's my mum? Where's my mum over there? She's here. Where's your mum? Oh, look at her, standing up. Look at her, there she is. All right, you can sit down now, mum. You can sit down now, mum. This is my show, mum. It's my show. It's my show.
Do you have a barrister here? Yeah, so we're close. Who you are? What's your name, champ?
Mark.
Mark, and Mark, what do you do?
Trainee solicitor.
You're a trainee solicitor. Okay, so you don't get to appear in court, do you?
No.
Oh, man, that's the whole fun of it, though. That would be the gas part, just appearing, just doing the walk in front of the jury. Oh, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Now, that would be the real gas of it all. You don't get that, do you not? No. No. Oh. Here, let me find out your instincts, though. Maybe you made the right decision, right? When you get to the end of a jury, right? When you get to the end of a jury, you're walking along, no, and you get to the end, right? And the jury's here. Which way should you turn?
Back on yourself.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why you wouldn't have made a good barrister. Just that moment there, right? If you're ever in a court, right, and you're ever representing yourself, walking along and blah, 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 your instinct will be to go blah, 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 end of the thing, just go blah, 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 blah. Wrong. This is the way you do it. Blah, 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 blah. But I ask you, when you look into the face of my client there, ask yourself, is he not guilty? That's how you do it, right? You ever been to showbiz? Take it for free, right? Anyway, this psychic, this nameless psychic was on recently, this is a completely true story, was on a couple of days before me in a theatre somewhere, right? And died roaring, couldn't do it, genuinely, and to the point that the audience turned. The audience were just looking at her going, you can't do this. You're actually bad at this, right? You can't. And they started taking the mickey. I started going, give me a name, give me a woman's name. Tracy, perfect, Tracy. Let's call her Tracy, right? Tracy. And the audience started going, Tracy, what about my mother? And Tracy would go, is she dead? And they go, no. And another voice went, Tracy, what about my sister? And you one goes, is she dead? And we go, no. And eventually someone goes, Tracy, what about my father? And she goes, is he dead? And the voice goes, yeah. And he went, oh, Ace, no. Something is coming through. Something is coming through. And the voice goes, no, he's here. Sorry. They're glorious. They're fantastic. They're fabulous people. So we had to chat with Andy. We talked to James again. We talked to Julia there. The one person I really wanted to talk to was, well, actually, was a few, but Melissa from the property shows. Where's that? Hello, how are you? How's yourself? Good to have you here. You do the property shows on BBC Daytime, don't you? I do.
You do. Yeah, well, you did. What are you going to do next year? Not so much in the property now, is it? That's a kind of a topical one there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just picking, you know? What are you going to do? A show called We're Staying Here? Or, actually, the schools aren't that bad. No, do you know what my favourite is? My absolute favourite? The best of all, right? Not grand designs, not location, with respect, not homes under the hammer. Property Ladder is the greatest property show in the world, right? For one simple reason, right? Property Ladder. You know the one I mean? Yeah. Very good. Brilliant. Best, almost the greatest television show, because uniquely, historically, it's the only television show ever that has an expert that nobody pays a blind bit of notice to. Every week, Sarah Beanie comes in and goes, Magnolia, and they go, no, we're painting it black. Every week, she's going, no, please, what are you doing there? We're digging a hole in the hallway to put a swimming pool in. What? She must be off camera every week doing, what am I even here? They don't even listen to a word I say. Every week I give advice and then they make a big profit and they think they're as good as me. Well, they're not. And she's in, she's out, she's in, she's out. It's a continuity disaster area. It really is, yeah? I'm not saying anything against her being pregnant, but it does kind of give away how long it takes these people to do a bit of basic plumbing, you know what I mean? In the time it's taken them to plaster the back bedroom that she's been in, she's had 4 kids in the time they've taken them to that. Just stick her in a poncho in episode 1 and be done with it, right? Make her Mexican. She can do the accent. Come in on a donkey going, so you want to develop some property? Yeah. Perhaps you'd like to knock through the wall and make this into a separate bedroom. Yeah, that would rise you many, many pesos for you if you can possibly do that.
This is true, this. Does anyone know? I failed my test. Can anyone tell me what happens, right? If you're on your driving test and an animal ran out in front of the car, what are you supposed to do? Supposed to run it over. That's the right answer. If they say anything else is a danger to other road users. I'm on my test. Everything's going great. Suddenly, this goat ran out in front of the car. So I remembered what he said, and I kept driving. A few seconds later, I look in my rear-view mirror. The goat is fine. I've missed him by millimetres. Now, obviously, I didn't want to fail my test. So I slapped it in reverse like that. But I must have been chasing that little fucker through that field for 45 minutes before I ran over his head, and he still failed me. Where's the justice in that? You actually look a bit like my driving instructor, madam. With those fantastic specs and that hair. You've gone for the old Eric Morecambe meets Demi Moore look, haven't you? That's fantastic. Actually, lend me those glasses for a second. Just, you do. What's your name, madam? Lyndall. Where are you from? Mordor? Lyndall. My name's Lyndall. Are you searching for a ring? That's Australian. Oh, fantastic. I'm not going to take the mickey out of the Australians. You're the same as us, aren't you? Different pronunciations, you know. You say yogurt, we say yogurt. You have prawns on the barbie, we have yogurt. You use KY jelly. It's yogurt, I'm not explaining them all. You say BYO, we say good guess. The question was, how do you spell boy? Arsenal! What do you do for a living? Are you a welder? It's true, actually. My driving instructor organised that. This is the other issue for me as well. We're driving down the road. She said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap my hand on the dashboard. I want you to make an emergency stop as though a small child has stepped out in front of the car. Before he could put his belt on, or she, doesn't matter because I'm making it up, right? Before the person could put their belt on, right, I hit my brakes like that, and he hit his head full on the window like this. I'm just showing off now. Oh, hi, Joe. Hey. Hey. When he turned around to me and said, why don't you wait till I slap my hand on the dashboard? I said, there's a child's life at stake here. I haven't got time to mess about with games, mate. Oh, sorry. You didn't see any of that, did you? No, sorry. You were just sat there, weren't you, going, what's he doing? What's that noise? Has he got a kind face?
That has done me the world of good. Thank you for that. Because I was waiting back there behind the big billboard, absolutely terrified. I'm not a natural performer. I'm not, although I have been doing this talk around the country for about 2 months now. I won't lie to you, it's not been going very well. I think the worst one was Folkestone. I have never seen an audience turn so quickly. Rushing at the stage, anger in their faces. Refund! Refund! It was horrific. I'll try and paint a picture for you. Youngsters will know what I'm talking about. Are there any youngsters in the... You can relax, sir. Well, there's a youngster. What is your name, sir?
Riyadh.
What's that?
Riyadh.
Riyadh. What?
Riyadh with a Z.
Riyadh with a Z. All right, it's not Sesame Street. Riyadh, how old are you?
18.
18? Shouldn't you be wearing a hooded top? Get out of my shopping centre! Riyadh. Don't laugh at Riyadh, please. You'll know what I mean, Riyadh, when I talk about stage diving. Are you familiar? You won't know what I'm talking about, sir, but this is when a rock star, like a Kurt Cobain or a Duncan from Blue, they run and they leap, and you're right to be afraid, you're right to be afraid. They leap onto the audience, Riyadh. It's terrifying. The audience grab hold of them and manhandle them. Turning them around like that, all over the place. Terrifying. Now, what happened at Folkestone was almost a complete reversal of that. with people just rushing at the stage. It was appalling. But I don't think we're going to have a repeat of that tonight. I don't. Because I'm already getting a lot of warmth from you. I am. To quote the great Darius Danesh, there's a lot of love in the room. There is. And a wide range. We've got Riaz with a Z, with a Z. No one can take that away from you, Riaz. I wouldn't try to. You'd whip out your hooded top and you'd happy slap me into submission. But it's a friendly crowd. We've got a proper... Oh, here we go. Right down in the front, there's a chap here wearing a T-shirt with a slogan on it. Unbelievable. A grown man. What is your name, sir?
Chris.
Chris, with a Z? Riaz, you're one up, you're ahead. I'll bet there aren't many other people in the whole building who have a Z in their name, in all honesty. Unless Zebedee's joined us tonight, which I think is unlikely. So you're a Chris.
Yes.
Chris. And what's the idea with the T-shirt, Chris? Is it Rag Week?
People ask me all the time, so Rich, how did you end up becoming a comedian? And I always say, why do you say end up, like I made a mistake? It's kind of a polite conversation you have with a tramp. So fella, how'd you end up in a skip? It's the most fantastic job in the world, right? You make people laugh, you fella, with all that stress on your face. Look at you, sit in the front row trying to get the jokes before anyone else. How desperate are you for comedy, my friend? Well, you people, Rich, but... Oh, I'm sorry, what? I wasn't expecting a response. Do you work?
I'm a student.
A student, all right. No more questions, Your Honor. It's very easy, no heavy lifting. Eh? Why don't you think about being a comedian? What are you studying?
History.
History. That goes back a long time, doesn't it? Why don't you try American history? A couple 100 years. Boom, you're done. Listen, here's the thing, all right? You just say intelligent things stupidly. That's all there is to being a comedian. Or maybe it's stupid things intelligently. It's not rocket surgery. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I get asked all the time. So I bet you were the class clown. Were you the class clown? Screw you. Why would you suggest I took a childhood disorder and turned it into a career, you prick? No one ever says to a hooker, were you the class whore? I bet you were the class whore, weren't you? Let the mystery be. I love watching Brits snap. That is the greatest thing in the world. When a Brit snaps, you don't even know they've snapped. It's not like Americans who take out 8 or 9 people with a high-powered rifle because they're social animals. Brits snap and you go, 2 hours later thinking, I think that guy snapped while I was talking to him. At that point where he crushed the pint glass with his hand, he was a bit pissed off. That's why when it comes to a war on terror, something we invented, the war on terror, because Brits would never have a war on terrify, because what's not terrifying to Brits? Everything. They just don't show it, right? Brit, you've had giants plucking your daughters out of villages a couple thousand years ago. Look that one up, history boy. It's true. So the basic British reaction to anything terrifying is this. How much is this going to cost? You can't really terrify. That's why I'm pretty sure the war, the whole terrorism thing, I think the terrorists have just kind of given up on Britain, because what can they possibly do, right? Listen, I would never compare the scopes of tragedy of, say, the World Trade Center to the bombs that blew up in London, but the reaction is completely different, right? America still has this entire culture of fear about terrorism. It's basically manifests itself by terror alerts being scrolled across the bottom of the TV screen by color. No explanation whatsoever. Just today's terror alert is orange. Now back to our show. What does that mean? Orange, that's hunting accidents, roadworks, right? That's not good. It means be very, very aware of terror. So dwell on it now and then. Whereas in Britain, they blow up the buses in London, next day people are back at the bus stop waiting for the bus, right? And complaining about it because they're Brits. Bus is late. I mean, it's late. The one yesterday blew up. Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Today's today. I live in the present and the bus is late. That's why when you watch a Brit snap, right, you got to get really close to them. They'll pick a high street and just corkscrew for a while. That's... Not even knowing what direction to... What direction is corkscrew anyway? This is bullshit. And then you get too close and then you get sucked into the vortex, right? Are you okay? That moment when a Brit truly snaps, and it looks like this. I'm going to write a letter. That's it. I've been pushed to the brink, you bastard. Nobody treats me like this, you son of a bitch. Huh? I'm not emailing this, I'm writing this. Wait till you get that tomorrow. Big red pillar box right in the mail. Postal strike.
You know, when you're in love with somebody, you rarely see them at work. You rarely see them doing the thing that they do and you can't. It's extremely attractive. Go follow your partner someday to work. If they're having an affair, it'll be a hideous conclusion. But just watch them doing the thing. It's really cool because you can't do it, they can. You go, I fucking know you're fantastic, you're glorious. Particularly when they're saving a life. Jesus, you're there going, oh, you're beautiful, I love you, and you're making me look good right now. Yeah, she's mine. She's my girlfriend. Look at her, she's Gloria. She's saving her life. Trophy bird, right? I had to be peeled off the doctor the day of the mini stroke. Seriously, she was underneath me going, that's very flattering, but could I deal with the situation first, right? And I was behind her going, no, she'll be unconscious for a while, yes. Apologise, she's actually in the room tonight. Sorry about that. Sorry. But it is nothing more attractive than seeing the person. I mean, the doctor here, have you a partner there with you? Have you a boyfriend or husband with you?
Yeah, he's a teacher.
He's a teacher, so he's not in the medical trade. My teacher friend, isn't it sexy? Have you seen her ever deal with an emergency, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet, he said loudly. Get her to run over one of these feckers on the way home tonight. Dude, it's extremely attractive, but the one bad thing is you're very clannish people, the doctors. They have a tendency to hang around together in little groups, right? Okay. My teacher friend, do you have to go to loads of social events where it's just you and doctor? Does that happen to you, my friend? Does it?
I hate it.
Yeah, I know, it's a nightmare. I hate it, he said. I am articulating your pain, my friend. He hates it, ladies and gentlemen, because there's times I've been at dinner parties and it's doctor, and I'm the only feckin' muggles in the room, right? And they don't know half as much as you give them credit for. My friend, if you're ever at another dinner party and it's all doctors, feck with their heads. It's remarkably easy to do. If you're ever out with a load of doctors and they're going, well, today I performed a fucking duckendectomy. You just go, yeah, but what are hiccups? Exactly. There's many competing theories at the moment. And then you go, why, if you stay in bed longer, do you feel more tired? It's not my speciality, that particular field. Does time heal all wounds? Who the fuck invited you to this dinner party anyway? What are the Oil of Olay 7 signs of aging? No one actually knows what the Oil of Olay 7 signs of aging are, right? Apparently they start with little lines around the eyes and finish with a woman sitting on a stairs with a bottle of gin going, I gave him the best years of my life! And it takes a feckin' hell of a cream to get rid of that, let me tell you. Doctor, one final question. Doctor at the back there, my surgeon friend, liver and pancreas, answer me this. What are hiccups exactly?
Diaphragmatic irritation.
A diaphragmatic irritation. Good woman yourself. Very good. Let the punters at home note, she said diaphragmatic irritation, which is right. I also would have accepted any arrhythmic irritation of the phrenic nerve. Please. I'm not a doctor. I'm just riding one. Okay.
I enjoy your traffic lights. Just standing there, watching people, obey them. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Because, I mean, we do have traffic lights in Africa, but we don't use them the same way. It's almost like we saw them here and just brought them over just to fit in, you know? People were just like, what are these? These are the brand new traffic lights. What are they for? Ah, just adds atmosphere to the intersection, huh? Look at the colors, look at the colors. Nobody uses them. People here use them. I understand the cars, but I see human beings use. There's no cars, but human beings just stand there looking at the light. Oh, it's red, it's red, it's red, it's red. And then you walk and they go, oi, what are you doing? I'm walking. Oh, the man is red, can't go, the man is red. No, I can go. It's just a suggestion, that's all it is. Doesn't mean I can't go, it's just saying I shouldn't go. I'm gonna go. No, don't go, don't go. Don't go. Press the button, press the button. Everyone presses the button. I don't understand why anybody presses the button. You press the button, and then someone else comes in and they press the button. Have you pressed the button? Yeah, I pressed the button. Well, let me just make sure. Just make sure. I pressed it 5 times. I also pressed. Oh, you also 5 times? Yeah, that's 5 times. 5 times the button. 5 times. That button doesn't do anything. I've actually checked. I've stood at traffic lights and waited, and the button doesn't do anything. All the button does is make you more patient. That's all it does. People get there and they go, I'm in a hurry. Okay, that's better now. Hi. I press the button. I can wait. People stand there at the traffic lights. I love it. Everyone stands at the traffic lights, and then you just look at one another. Everyone, you see the people on the other side. They look at you, you look at them. No one does anything cool. Like, this is a moment you could chat. You could chat to each other about the weather and stuff. Oh, great weather. Yeah, have you seen the sun? Haven't seen the sun today. Nothing. Everyone just stands there. So what I like to do is, if the moment is right, if the mood is correct, and there's enough people, I try and wait for a moment when there's no traffic. And then I look at the people on the other side, and then I start shouting at them like we're going into battle. I just stand at the front of my side of the sidewalk, and I'll be like, today, we fight for our children! Those who oppose us will feel our pain! And then nobody looks at you because they think you're crazy. Which is better because now it looks like they're part of your army. They just stand there like this. And you just carry on. I try and say the craziest things to see if anyone... Nobody leaves. Nobody. I just say the craziest things. Last week, many of us died in the Battle of Oxford Street. But today they will not be so brave. And no one says anything. No one's like, I don't know what's going on, mate, but I'm not part of this. All right, then, thank you. Traffic light beef's not my thing. Nobody says that. Nobody. Everyone just stands there with you like an army. Then the other people on the other side, if you do it well enough, they start to doubt themselves. You see them on the other side like, what's going on? You will die! And the light goes green, and then you charge. Ah! And everyone's in a hurry, so they come with you. No one stands back. No one's like, oh, no, let him go first. No, they just go, oh, let's go. Ah!
I'll set the scene. You're in stirrups, so it's like you've been riding a horse, and then the horse has fucked off. And you've toppled over and ended up, in my case, in the back room of an NHS hospital. Then what has happened, every time I've been for a smear, and I don't know, something they're rolling out just for me, but every time I've been for a smear, what seems to happen is a doctor will come over and they'll go, hi, Miss Ruffle, thanks so much for coming in. It's really important you keep up to date with your smear test. Now listen, if this is a problem, you can absolutely say no. You can totally say no. It's not a big deal. But would it be all right? We have some trainee doctors in today. Could they all come in? And you want to go, no, there's a horse on the loose. Could they go and get that? But you love the NHS, so you've got to go, yes, of course, no problem, it's absolutely fine. And then what happens is between 65 and 70 trainee doctors come in. There's loads of them. It's like a walking tour's got lost. It's not good. I also need to let you know something. People in the room that haven't been to a smear, I need to let you know something. When you're having your smear, you feel a little bit silly. You feel a little bit silly, and I'll tell you for why. T-shirt, nothing. Little pair of socks. A little bit silly. You feel a little bit like Winnie the Pooh. The doctor's back. She says, Miss Ruffle, would it be okay if one of the other trainee doctors did your smear? And you want to say, no, can I have someone had a crack at it before, please? But you love the NHS, so you've got to go, yes, of course, no problem, it's absolutely fine. And then what happens? The trainee doctor came at me like this. The doctor's back. She says, Miss Ruffle, would it be okay if one of the other trainee doctors did your paperwork? I was like, yeah, once I'm a chuff, they'll fill out form. Carry on. So she goes, you're Susie Ruffle. I'm like, yeah, that's me. She goes, okay. First question, what are you using as contraception? Undercut on the Doc Martens not enough? What more do you need? I said, I'm not using contraception. She went, oh, well, if you're sexually active, you do need to be using contraception. And I was like, oh, no, I don't. She went, no, you do. Because even if you're using the old-fashioned technique or, the Catholic technique, nothing about what I am doing is Catholic. She said, you should be very careful. You can have a baby tomorrow. I think it will take 9 months. I've got 4 GCSEs. You're nearly a doctor. You should know that. And she wasn't picking up what I was putting down. And what I was putting down was a KD Lang album. So eventually I just had to come out. Now, of course, there'll be queer people in the room. You know what it's like. Sometimes you have to come out in situations where you didn't know you were coming out that day. You hadn't put it in the diary. So I had to say, I'm a gay lady. I'm a lady that's gay. I'm a glady. And the one that was down here doing the jiggery-pokery, which I think is the official term. I saw a gay lady and she popped up like I'd birthed her. So, whoa. She is a lot older than I thought she'd be, but we are very proud she's a doctor. I saw a gay lady, she popped up and went, oh, right, that makes sense. Snug. That's not a medical term, is it? Has that gone on my record? Snug, what a weird word to use. Because it sounds like she's looking down there and she can see the back end of a Tudor pub.
The most sexually adventurous thing I ever did, I did it when I was single. When I was single, I ordered the #1 vibrator on the Love Honey website. And the Love Honey website is a sex toy website, for those of you pretending not to know. I kind of ordered it out of spite, right? Because one of my exes called me a prude, which I think is such an extreme thing to call someone. I don't think I did anything to warrant that. The only thing I can think of maybe is once I said that I don't like morning sex. That's not a big deal. That doesn't mean that I'm not sex positive. I just don't think you should do something that disgusting in the morning. Not whilst the blackbird is singing his morning tune. But I went on the website. It was late at night. I just ordered the first one on the list because I thought that will be good. That will probably be quite nice. The thing that arrived is so terrifying. It plugs directly into the wall. It has one of those on the end of it. It uses mains electricity. It needs to be pat tested. I just find that so threatening, because I think what that's basically saying is, what I'm about to do to you couldn't possibly be done with a battery. I'm gonna need that same stuff that powers your fridge. It's huge, it's bigger than this. It looks like a piece of farming equipment from the Industrial Revolution. But it's called a wand. There is nothing magical about it. I've never seen this type of vibrator before. All the vibrators that I've seen advertised online are very small and portable, and they're not making big claims. They're just happy to live in your bedside drawer, and they'll be there like, okay, girl, I'm here if you need me. Like, if you and your partner get like super, super drunk one night, maybe you could experiment with me for a little bit. Honestly, I might not do anything, but I might speed things along for you a little bit. Either way, no worries if not. Whereas my vibrator is just next to the bed like, do you want to meet God? Not really. It doesn't even fit in the bedside drawer. It's just curled up on the floor like a python. And after it arrived, I was like, is this the right thing? Because I checked on the website, because I thought maybe it got mixed up with like an order meant for Guantanamo Bay. It was the right thing. Not only that, I read the description for the first time. It said in the description, this is the world's most powerful vibrator. I don't think I need that. I need absolute max, a whisper on the wind. The world's most powerful vibrator. You shouldn't be able to buy that without a license. Underneath as well, it said, the vibrator will turn off automatically after 20 minutes for your safety. 21 minutes and there's a danger of death. I don't even want to shout.
It cost £90. So I felt like I had to try it because I spent so much money. And I don't even have a plug next to my bed. I had to get the extension cable. That felt desperate. I turned it on onto the lowest setting. It had 8 settings. I turned it onto setting 1. It was so loud. I was like, there's nothing private about this experience. The neighbours are going to think I'm having a new kitchen put in. At midnight, they're going to call the council. Well, no, they're not calling anyone. They don't have any power right now. I tried it just for like 1, maybe 2 seconds, and I was like, I can smell burning. I can't use this thing. It's going to sand me down. It's going to erode. I'm going to be flat over. There'll be nothing left like Barbie. But it had 8 settings. I thought, I have to see what setting 8 does. Not on myself. I know my limits. I just turned it up to setting 8 in the sky. Fuck me. I was like, I'm going to rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
So I'm a single mum, right? And whatever people say, it is different than being a single dad. Because women see single dads and go, oh, he's so good with his kids. Isn't he coping wonderfully? Oh, he's so good with his children. I must have sex with him now. Whereas men see single mums and they go, run him out, baggage! I went on a date with a guy that called my little boy baggage. He's 3. He's not baggage. He's hand luggage. He just fits in the overhead lockers. It's kind of perfect. Recently, my brother said, look, Shap, you've been separated for ages now. You really need to find yourself a new fella. Why don't you go on the internet? Because my brother found his girlfriend on the internet. I think it was eBay. So I joined an internet website, and to my surprise, right, on the online form that you had to fill in, one of the things you had to tick to see who you wanted was racial preference. And it said white, Caucasian, 3 boxes, not important, decidedly important, absolutely crucial. And I thought that's a little bit weird because your photo's up there in the first place, so you can just be racist in private. You know, why hurt anyone's feelings, right? So I want to show you this. I wrote an email to the administrator of this website. I wrote him an email, basically, in a nutshell, going, what are you on, mate? And he wrote back, going, the choices we provide on our matching algorithms, I had to look that word up, nothing to do with sex, are for our users to find the perfect match. They are in no way indicative of someone being racist at all. White, Caucasian, absolutely crucial. Right, so I wrote back going, shut up, a bit more coherent than that. And then he wrote back and said, some people are more stringent than others when it comes to finding a partner. Doesn't that sound like a real dig at me? Like, oh, you'd shag any old colour. We merely help them find the right person by enabling them to measure height, weight, occupation, level of income, and ethnicity. Thing is, height, weight, occupation, level of income, they're all things that can be measured. How do you measure ethnicity? I had no idea how to measure my own when I was filling out the form. I had to look on a Dulux colour chart. Turns out I'm natural calico. This correspondence went on for quite a while, right? And tell me if you think I went too far. Eventually, I sent him a copy of the Nuremberg race laws. I'm not saying that this website is a Nazi organisation. I just think we should nip things in the bud at source. He wrote back to me and said, Dear Shappy, I've enjoyed our correspondence. I have now noticed your name is Shappy Corsandi. Might you be the same Shappy Corsandi I saw on the Michael McIntyre Comedy Roadshow? If so, I am single. And I wondered if you'd like to go for a coffee. Won't this be a funny story to tell our kids? Smiley face. I wrote back. I said, thank you so much for your email. I'm very flattered. However, I've noticed your name is James Chowdhury. Little bit too brown for me.
natural colour photo.
But I've got Sky TV now, which is excellent. You can pause live TV, just pause it. The people at home now can just pause it, and it's a perfect pause. Not the old sort of 1980s VHS pause. That was a very different story, wasn't it? You couldn't even see what you were watching in 1980s pause. People who weren't moving would start moving. Wasn't even moving in this scene. People in paintings would come to life. I'm in a painting! But then once you pause it, it's quite exciting because you can watch it back at like ×2 or ×6 or ×12 or ×30, which makes boring programmes quite entertaining. Like in the tennis, you can forward the changeovers. Watching Andy Murray eating a banana in ×12 is quite exciting. I watched Deal or No Deal in ×30. It really whizzes along. I watch all TV. I watch TV just to slag it off, to be honest. Dragon's Den winds me right up. I know you're rich, dragons. You don't need to bring your cash with you. They sit there with cash on their tables. I'm so tremendously wealthy, all my bank accounts are full. I've had to bring additional funds with me tonight. What about you, Theopathetus? Have you got money on your table? Oh, I'm completely loaded. I've thrown money up onto my table, that's every time. What about you two dragons? Oh, yes, you've got a lot of cash here. All right, bring in the first poor person. Let's see what they've got. They come in trembling. Hello, dragons. Please, can I have some cash for the ideas in my brain? I feel sick just looking at poor people. The state of her clothing. For that reason, I'm out. What about you, Theopathetus? Are you out? I will be out, but I'm going to humiliate the bitch for 15 minutes. Then I will declare that I too am out. I'd like to go on Dragon's Den with a shotgun. Just stand there, pointing it at each of them individually, till one of them goes, so what's your idea? Quite simple, put that cash in this bag, all right? You get no equity. I like some TV. I watch it till the bitter end, literally like the early hours of the morning, till the signing zone, the death zone. That's when you know it's probably time for bed, you know? When there's somebody in the corner signing. You feel a bit like, this isn't really for me. They almost look at you like, come on, you could have watched this in the day. It's probably bedtime for you. Deaf people have been asleep all day to stay up for this. Have some respect. I like it when there's no dialogue in the show and they watch TV with you. The other day I was watching the Blue Planet or something. This is a show with David Attenborough where they discover creatures from the depths of the ocean for the very first time. Literally fish that were only just discovered, and they were naming them on the show. So he was going, here we have the newly discovered Diplodocus. And the signing guy was going... He resorted to impersonating the fish. It was hilarious. The fish was swimming, he was just underneath going...
that have come out of this pandemic. I do. And I think one of the major good things that's come out of it is how we've embraced new technology. Isn't it? Because it's just unbelievable. Who knew what Zoom was 2 years ago? None of us. Like last week, I had to do a speed awareness course online. Now, you should be doing that on something called Zoom, but that's the world we're in now. It's the world we're in. I've got a phone that can recognise my face. That already makes it better than my nan. Come on! I embrace new technology. I do. Because could you imagine if this pandemic had happened like 30 years ago? No internet, no Zoom, no Pornhub. I don't know why I looked at you, sir, but I did. Because I think we've forgotten, here in 2021, we've forgotten what really being bored feels like. Like proper bored. My friend's little boy said the other day he gets bored waiting for an app to load. Fuck off, mate. That is not boredom, is it? I'm talking Sunday afternoon in the 80s. That was boredom. When it was raining, you'd read every book in the house. I grew up in Maidstone. That's a Mills and Boon and an Argos catalogue. Your mum's watching watching something black and white on the only telly in the house, so you listen to your Walkman for a bit, but the batteries are dying, so Madonna's Like a Virgin sounds like Barry White singing it. You can't go and buy more batteries, can you? You can't, because all the shops are shut. And I mean, all the shops are shut, even the petrol stations are shut, and then when you think your day can't get any more tedious, your dad would go, get in the car, everyone, we're going to go and visit someone. That's what we do, isn't it? On a Sunday afternoon in the 80s, we would visit people for no reason other than to ruin their day. Do you know what? Young people don't believe this when you tell them, we never told them we were coming. Could you imagine doing that to someone today? They'd be livid, wouldn't they? We used to spend every Sunday with people wishing that they'd hoovered and we'd fuck off, didn't we? I'm right on that. The only people who phoned ahead in the 1980s were the IRA. Fact. I wouldn't be a teenager now, though, would you? I wouldn't be a teenager now. When I think of the things I did when I was a teenager, the thought of that being on the internet forever makes me feel physically sick. It does. The way they have to communicate with each other is something I just can't understand. You know, sexting. I couldn't write a sext. I don't know what to put in a birthday card. When I was a teenager, if I wanted to leave a sexy message for a boy, I'd have to ring his landline and leave a message with his mum. You're into what, dear? All over your what? Different times, isn't it? Different times. There was a boy I fancied at school. I couldn't text him to write him a note, stick it in his school bag. And I'd make him a mixtape. Write him a poem. That's all we had, didn't we? I genuinely think a 14-year-old girl today, she would be more freaked out if you sent her a poem than if you sent her a picture of your knob. A poem would freak her out more. She'd be with her friends going, I mean, it was like a song, but it wasn't a song. And there was no cock in it. Not even a bollock, no. Different times, you know. Different. Apparently, young people today, they are most likely now to have their very first sexual experience online. By FaceTime or Skype. They're not even in the same room. You've got one teenager in this house on their phone and the other teenager in this house on their phone, and that's how they're having their first sexual experience. And I just think, do you know what? Getting fingered behind a caravan at a fairground is not ideal. But at least I was getting some fresh air.
But I think women should just let it out. It's a big day in a girl's life when she can freely let rip in front of her bloke. It is. I think women should be having I farted in front of my boyfriend for the first time parties. I do. I think they should be ringing up their mums, just going, Mum, I've got something to tell you. Oh, darling, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? I just did a fart in front of Tom. Oh, darling, that's wonderful news, wonderful news. And what did he say? He didn't say anything. He just laughed and farted back. My little girl's all grown up. Meanwhile, Dad will be in the background just going, women are farting far too early in front of their boyfriends these days. It was 18 months before your mother even trumped in my direction. 6 months before she'd take a dump in the house when I was around. Yes. And also, I'll tell you something else we pretend as well. We keep the old, the lady garden quite tidy, us girls, don't we, in the early stages? We will do little tricks with it. Look, it's the strip, it's the Brazilian. Oh, look, I put a hat on it, it's the Mexican. Like we do. We do all that in the early stages, and then after about a year, it looks like the back of the wardrobe that leads to Narnia. Well, if he wants it, he's going to have to work for it. People saying to me, Andy, you could try meeting people in a nightclub. You'll never meet anyone good in a nightclub because the nightclub environment is designed to have us make bad decisions. It is because it's dark, you can't see, you can't hear. You know what, if nightclubs want to be responsible, what they should do to help us out is just before the exit, they should have a brightly lit room where you can check out the person you're leaving with. Yes, they should. They should call it, have a sodding word with yourself lounge. And you would literally get women in there just going, oh my God, you're wearing a fleece. I couldn't tell because it's so dark in there. Okay, nice to meet you. But listen, you meet somebody online, all I'm going to say is there's some safety things to take into consideration. Now, I met somebody through Twitter, just the once. I'll never do it again. And it was the most irresponsible thing I think I've ever done. And I spoke to a friend about it before we met up, and I said, listen, I've met this guy, and we seem to really like each other, and we're talking about meeting up. What do you reckon? Should I meet him? And before my mate even had a chance to say anything, I said, you know what? I am going to meet this guy. You know why? Because life's too short. And my mate just went, yeah, you're going to find out how short. And my mum says, she says, look, if you go on these dates, make sure you meet in a public place, okay? And I'm just going to add something to that. Public place, brill. Public house, excellent. Public toilet. Never meet in a public toilet. No good can come of it. Unless it's, you know them space-age toilets that they have outside, where you put the money in, press the button, and then the door opens. You know why? Because you can pretend it's blind date. How cool is that? You just put the money in, press the button. And if you don't like it, just press the button really quickly. I don't know why, like young couples, new couples, have got this obsession with finding out how many people someone's been out with from before. Like, how many previous partners? This is a lose-lose situation, right? And if any of you have ever had that conversation or you think it's ever going to come up, this is what I say. This is what you should say, okay? Just say to the person that's asked you, you want to know how many previous partners? Okay, I'll tell you from the beginning, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, you, 6, 7...
My wife gave birth to two little girls, and exciting. It's exciting. The hardest thing with twins, of course, is picking your favourite. You know, that's the hardest thing. I go for the one that's not crying a lot of the time. No, the hardest thing is the lack of sleep. That's what everyone says, don't they? The lack of sleep. I've been getting 3-4 hours sleep at night, so has my wife. And, I mean, famously, of course, Margaret Thatcher, she got by on 4 hours sleep a night. And that sort of goes some way to explaining why she was a proper miserable bitch, right? Because... honestly, right? It's right, isn't it? I mean... I sometimes wake up after 4 hours sleep and want to close a couple of minds. You know what I mean? That's how I'm right? Take milk off children, give it here. The one time you know you're not getting enough sleep, right? There's 2 times it happens. One time is when you look in the mirror and you can see what you're going to look like in 15 years' time, right? That's when you know you're not getting enough sleep. The other time is when you hear one of the most beautiful sounds in nature, bird song, okay, at 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning, and all you can think of is, shut up. Shut your little beaky mouth. You little feathery bastard. That's when you need to have a lie-in at some point. Someone needs to come and relieve you. One of the things I found amazing while my wife was pregnant, and not amazing, that sounds bad, but is how much you actually fancy her while she's pregnant, okay? It's phenomenal. It just strikes blokes. You see your wife, I saw my wife, I think, whoa, yeah, whoa. Mainly because her boobs go massive, right? That's convinced me that God is a woman, because only a female would make those boobs the best looking they've ever been, yet too sensitive to do anything with. You forget yourself sometimes as well. I forgot myself. I remember coming one night, it was 2 a.m. I got into bed, I had to be up at 7. And my wife was out here, like, just before she popped, and she turned over, right, in the night. Beep, beep, beep. And she nudged me awake, complete mistake, but I forgot for a second, I just forgot myself, and I woke up, I went, oh, that's so frustrating. And she was up straight, bolt upright over me, eyes red in the darkness. Oh, frustrating, is it? Luckily, I had my wits about me, I went, just frustrating not being able to help you. I don't know where it came from, but I got away with it. She got angry at little things. We watched the film Superman, right? Now, I love Superman. She'd never seen it. She's from Derby, and I don't know if they've got a cinema there, to be honest. I think there was just one bloke on her street had a big telly, and that was it. And he just had one copy of Teen Wolf, and that was all he watched. So she's never seen any films, right? So I said, right, you've got to watch Superman, it's a classic. And we were getting through loads of films and that while she was pregnant, bored and that. And we put Superman in, and we got about half an hour into it, and then the pause come on. I said, what's up? She went, I said, who? She went, Lois Lane. I don't know why she's talking like Bird and Maddie, my wife. Lois Lane. She is winding me right up. I said, why? She went, she has just been underwater for 15 minutes, unconscious, flown through the air at the speed of a bullet, lay on the ground, water's come out of her mouth, and now look at her. Her hair and makeup are still perfect, aren't they? She's really angry about it. But I sort of tried to appease her. I said, listen, that's because she's a Hollywood film star. She doesn't work at Greg's in Chorley. Right now, I shouldn't have said that. My wife's a supervisor. It was out of order, okay? No steak bakes for a week. I was starving.
So I came to Britain in the early 80s. We were refugees long before it became fashionable. But my favourite immigrants are Polish people because they've properly confused old-fashioned racists. Have you seen them? They don't know what to do. What do we do? What do we say? They're immigrants, but they're white. I had this one bloke go, bloody Poles coming over here with their work ethic. Which isn't very politically correct, and I try so hard to be politically correct. Sometimes I take it too far. I was at a party recently and I said to my friend, have you met Steve? He's a really nice guy. My friend goes, which one's Steve? Steve was the only black guy in the room. I found myself going, Steve, yeah, he's over there. He's got blue jeans on, a grey T-shirt, sort of curly hair, and a Nigerian accent. And once I was performing at a comedy club and there was two black guys in the front row, like you two, but men and black. You are a man, sir, I'm sorry. It's the lights. And I said to them, so how do you two know each other? And they looked at each other and went, we don't. Might as well have had NF tattooed on my forehead. I didn't, it was felt tip. I like friendly, a little bit of friendly racism is nice. When I was a little girl, I used to always go to my friend Katie's house, and every time her dad opened the door, he'd go, hello, Shappy, been on holiday? So, I have a little boy, I have a baby boy, I'm a mum, and I'm looking at you, some of you are so young, I could be your mummy if I lived somewhere rural. Like a lot of women, I got to my 30s and I thought, I've got to have a baby now. Well, my mum's still young enough to look after it for me. And I went to all the antenatal classes, and this woman came up to me, one of the other mums goes, oh, how are you planning on losing your baby weight? And I was like, well, I was just thinking of having the child. And she was like, oh, I'm going to be a yummy mummy. I'm going to lose all my yummy mummy. That's just like a middle-class way of saying MILF. I was so happy when I found out that I was pregnant. And we had a scan and we knew that it was a boy. And people said to me, why did you find out the sex of your baby? Didn't you want a surprise? Well, it's going to be a boy or a girl, do you know what I mean? The only surprise would have been if it was a puppy. And there are no puppies in my family. There's one goat, it's not a blood relation. Thank goodness I have a child now. It was no fun being a broody Iranian woman. Every time I said to people, my body clock's ticking, they'd hit the ground. So with all that going on, when I did find out I was pregnant, I was so delighted. I thought, I am going to fill this child's life up with love and hope and understanding. My husband's reaction was slightly different. He walked around going, woohoo! My soldiers worked! Easy! It's not his. Oh, the fuss he made when he found out I was cheating on him. Only child. Can't share. My husband's English, he's from Nottingham, and a lot of people ask me if my husband's Iranian. And I go, well, he's not, he's English, but he's planning to convert. His family are absolutely lovely, and when they first met me, they kept going, oh, Shappy's so exotic, she's so exotic, which means foreign, but not in a way that we hate.
I'll be honest with you, folks, I was involved with a man a few years ago, okay? More than 10 years ago, I was involved with a man, but because it's more than 10 years ago, I don't want to say I'm bisexual now. I haven't been bummed in a decade, yeah? I feel like you need to renew your certificates. Can't just go around dining out on former glories while practitioners of bisexuality are out there. Front line, it's out of order to them. Consequences. And I feel like that's happening a lot now. A lot of straight people are trying to claim they're a little bit more gay than they are just to seem interesting, yeah? I'm a bit gay. Are you, though? Have you been bummed? I'm a bit gay. Yeah, come on, let's hear it. I was talking to a guy at a party, right? He told me he was bisexual because he'd had a couple of gay thoughts. I've had thoughts about volunteering. Have I volunteered? Have I fuck? And therefore, I am not a volunteer. It's quite straightforward. I can't walk up to volunteers outside a soup kitchen and say, yeah, I've thought about doing that. Me and you are one and the same. Have a great day. I'm off to have fun while we both volunteer. It's out of order. But the LGBTQ is getting mentioned more now. We're being represented in the media. I feel like that's good. It's getting talked about. Footballers sometimes wear the thing on their arm. But sometimes you're thinking, is this a company just being a little bit, do you know what I mean? Just being a bit naughty and trying to seem, okay, you're on side. All right, I was outside Sainsbury's. On the window, it said, Sainsbury's proudly supports the LGBTQ. And I'm thinking, how exactly does this play out, Sainsbury's? What is this support you're talking of? Do you send your reps down to gay orgies? To cheer them on from the side? Go on, son, that's it, put it in the bum. Yeah. The hairy one, that's it. Yeah, that's right. Do you want a bag for that, boys? Hey, girls, do the scissors thing or whatever it is you do, yeah? So they all taste the same, or can you taste the difference? Sainsbury's supports this. Good for you. Or is their support more subliminal? It's more like in-store, little things you don't think you realise you've seen. You know, like you go up to the sausage roll aisle. It used to be in packs of 1, now it's packs of 2, tip to tip. So that when you do see 2 cocks going at it, you think, where have I seen that? I've seen that somewhere before. That's fine, because I know that. I've seen that. But, you know, to be honest, when I was involved with this guy, it wasn't about him being a guy, it was about the connection we had, right? I didn't really care about his gender, which I guess makes me a pansexual back then, but I didn't stick, so I'm more like a non-stick pan.
So I'm gay. I don't know if I needed to explain that. And if you've seen me before, I'm still gay. If anything, it's getting worse. And I'm completely gay as well. Like, I've never tried it any other way. I've never tried it with a woman. I'm a thoroughbred. I mean, really, I wouldn't know a vagina if it hit me in the face. Maybe how they do that? Have they got hands? I've never seen one. Though I have been twatted. And I realise I come up here and I talk and sound all posh, don't I? Probably quite intimidatingly so to you. But I'm not actually from a very posh family at all. I'm from a very ordinary family, and I went to a very ordinary comprehensive school, very ordinary. I know, isn't it moving? And I do think at school, like, they try and prepare you for life, don't they? I don't know how well they do it. Like, I remember at primary school, they used to try and prepare us for life by giving us assemblies every day. We'd have assembly every day, where we'd all be sat in the hall, on the floor, in rows, and then the teachers would be sat on the end of the rows on chairs because they were stronger. And then our head teacher, called Mr. Babbage, would come in, and he'd walk to the front, and he'd say, "Good morning, everybody." And then the whole school would go, "Good morning, Mr. Babbage," because they were all drunk. And then he'd read us a story, and it would always be a story about, like, how to make a soup out of stones. And I think Jesus was there somewhere. And there was always a moral, and the moral was always something like, be poor. And then after that, he'd sometimes read us a letter from Rapamundi, and Rapamundi was this girl, right, we were always raising money for in India. And she would write us these letters about how dreadful her life was. And she did have an awful, awful, dreadful, dreadful, awful, 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 dreadful, dreadful, awful, dreadful, dreadful life. But then she always found time to write. And then, after that, we'd always have a collection of postage stamps for guide dogs. I don't know who these guide dogs are writing to. And then eventually, when you've done enough of that, then you get to go, of course, to secondary school, don't you? Secondary school, and that's where you get to learn really interesting things at secondary school, isn't it? Like, you get to learn about novels in English, and you get to learn about fingering, and... And you get to learn about, like, proper grown-up maths, don't you? Or math, as they say in America, don't they? Math, math, math. But we do it more than once. And I remember learning things like Pythagoras' theorem. Do you remember that? Pythagoras' theorem. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Sokatoa. Do you remember that? Sokatoa. 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 It's a thing. I'm not just having a stroke. Sokatoa. Sokatoa. Sokatoa means sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. I mean, now, as an adult, looking back, it would have been nice, wouldn't it, if they spent maybe half an hour, or even just like 10 minutes, really, just 10 minutes going, this is a pension scheme. This is how you get on a tax return, and this is how you get over a broken heart, and this is how you tell an estate agent to fuck off.